Today we're going to be talking about the continuously evolving finance function in the film and media industry. And we've got three gentlemen over here who come from a ton and a wealth of experience from the industry, whom I'm about to introduce in just a couple of minutes. But before we dive in, I'd love to get to know the audience a bit better. So with a show of hands, how many of us today are part of a media agency? All right, that's a lot of us. A film production company? All right. And how many of us today are part of a finance function? Of course you raise your hand. You're in the audience, so. Okay, cool. And how many of us work as part of the marketing team? Okay, cool, that's awesome.
Could we add number?
Sure.
Startups and entrepreneurs.
All right, awesome. Cool, so it looks like we've got a great mix of people over here to kick off the session with. We've got finance folks, marketing folks, people from agencies, entrepreneurs and founders from all sorts of different companies. With that, before we dive in, I'm going to kick off with a quick introduction of the panel over here today. Or rather, I'm actually going to hand the mic, or no mic, to the panelists themselves, right? So I'm going to start off with Wissam from Xische. So Wissam, if you could kick off with a little bit more about yourself.
All right, so good evening, everybody. My name is Wissam Ahmed. I'm the managing partner of Xische Co, which is a strategic brand and communications firm. We work with governments and global brands to help them launch, grow, or transform. We like to call ourselves a 22-year-old startup. And I'll get to that in a minute during our panel conversation, and I'll double click on that. Apart from that, I am also a partner at Xische Ventures, where we invest in a host of amazing founders and brilliant ideas. So it gives me a very good opportunity to speak today on the multiple roles that I get to play in different companies and how different companies look at the exact same thing in different perspectives, how they approach the same problems with different lenses. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And then Joseph from Dukkan Media, a lot of us might recognize the name. It's the name behind Lovin Dubai, Smashy TV, and all of the great work that you do.
Hi guys, pleasure to be here. I'm Joseph Fredo, CFO of Dukkan Media. A lot of you know Lovin Dubai, obviously. It's a social media platform, and we've expanded across the region to other cities within the MENA region and North Africa. Smash TV, on the other hand, is, I don't think a lot of you have heard of it. It's more of a broadcasting channel. We streamline sports, news, all in Arabic. And it's basically the Cheddar and Bloomberg of the Middle East. And we're growing that furthermore and expanding into new revenue streams and more focused on Arab countries because we know the potential in this region and we try to focus on making what's beautiful in the city and its regions more close to the work rest of the world.
Awesome, thanks so much. And then lastly, Omar.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming. It's very lovely to be here and talk in front of all of you. So my name is Omar and I'm the head of finance for Dukkan Media. Dukkan Media is a marketing agency that sells marketing sprints, and they're heavily focused on cultural consultancy. The second function and the second arm of Dukkan Media is also intellectual property, and they have intellectual properties through their own network, or they white label intellectual property of their clients from A to B. And intellectual property is mainly creating and promoting podcasts.
Cool, awesome. And finally myself, I am Mohamed Aziz. I'll be your moderator today, and I'm also the CEO at Pluto Card. For those of you who don't know, Pluto Card is the #1 corporate card for media and film businesses, designed to help folks like yourselves save a ton of time and money. And again, throughout the session, eventually we'll tell you more about it as well. Cool. With that, just to give you a quick overview on this session right now, we're going to break this into 3 parts. Part 1 is going to be focused on the CFO's function in a media company, as well as how it's shifting to more strategic work. Part 2 is going to be focused on tools and automation that can help us improve processes. And the final part is going to be on budgeting and forecasting, followed by Q&As. So with that, talking about strategic decisions. In today's time, as the finance function in media is evolving, CFOs need to put a lot of their time into strategic work versus grunt work and manual work, etc. And we're going to hear from the panelists as to how the CFO's function is changing in 2023. So I'm going to start off with Wissam, right? Wissam, if you could, paint your relationship with your CFO at Xische.
Sure. I'd start off saying 22-year-old startup, so let me double click on that right now. So I've had the opportunity to be around here in the Dubai market for over 2 decades now. And back in the day, finance function, the CFO, the accounting function was literally in the basement. Like they would do their job, we'd get a report from them, always delayed, and then you take the report, and then you try to make sense of it, and you take a decision by yourself in isolation. And that's how it was then. And it was errors, it was going back to them, get fixed, and so on and so forth, and this was just recurring. Fast forward 2 decades, today, I mean, my CFO, our CFO is my best bud. I cannot take a decision without him. Literally cannot take a decision without him. 1, because it would be wrong. I would be taking decisions without all the data. 2, the amount of impact that the CFO has today is far greater than what I could do by myself. And I'll give you an example. If we were to go ahead and just talk about something as mundane and unfortunate as collections, we've got to collect money from our clients. Typically, the CFO or any accounting function would come and say, why aren't you collecting this? You essentially are now in the middle between client and accounting and trying to justify to them why I haven't collected it, why we haven't been able to. Versus today, the CFO would be, all right, we're a difficult client, we have difficult collections, let's figure out a strategy in which to account for the next project. So you have a conversation and dialogue today. More so, technologies such as Pluto, such as online accounting systems also make everything instant. But having the CFOs today with you by your side is as crucial as having a CMO for someone who goes speaks out there, just the same function as the CEO does. And I'd like one more thing if I can. It could be controversial, but in the future, and I'm talking about the next 10 to 15 years, most likely the CFOs are going to replace the CEOs. The current existing CEOs will be then, giving the mantle and take over to CFOs. They will have the pulse of the company, and if they've got all the other ingredients as well, charisma, the ability to strategize, go talk, get business, understand what the eventual goal is. If you have the financial literacy over there, you've got the dynamite knowledge. So CEOs, watch out.
With that very bold statement, Joseph, the superhero CFO over here, if you could maybe throw in some of your thoughts as well as maybe tell us more about how today, aside from managing the finance function, how much of your function actually steers the direction of the company?
It's great words from Wissam, to be honest with you, and I agree with most of it. Not the last part. I don't think I'll replace our CEO at the moment.
I say 10 years.
Maybe that. I have to think about it. But I agree, the most person I have any conversations with is my CEO. We discuss everything, mergers, acquisitions, and whether they happen or not, it's always on our mind. Even IPO at an early stage is always on our mind. We're always discussing what ifs, where can we reach in 5 years, where can we be in 10 years. Even starting conversations on IPO, we're not even there, but we're on the path to reaching there is a stepping stone for us. And having all that in our mindset is something that shows us that we are capable of reaching where we want to be. Now, I've only been CFO for the past 18 months. This is quite new to me, but the fact is I transitioned from controller to CFO by the fact that I'm actually doing the CFO role. There was no CFO at that time. So those discussions about M&A and so forth were already happening at an early stage. Now, after COVID, we expanded much quicker than we thought we would. And that role became more eminent and required because there was more conversations around it. Now, speaking about strategies, my whole world flipped, you could say, from running a healthy business to full-time strategies. Full-time ensuring that we're on track, not only on track in terms of putting FP&As and analysis, but also making sure they happen, making sure we're in progress, making quick decisions when we feel that things are not working out or things are doing great, then let's invest further. And seeing where the opportunities come to us.
It's awesome, thank you so much. And then Omar, finally, any what's it called, unique experience?
Well, I mean, you've been with me since the day I became CFO. So I truly believe, I truly agree with the senior, is that the role of the CFO is slowly shifting into the role of the CEO. And I'm seeing that on a daily basis with people that I meet every day. Especially that the CFO, a lot of the decisions are taken from a lot of the processes that the CFO leads are automated and they can be run by machines. So he's very well informed about the business. He gives the CEO the right direction whenever he has a strategy. Now, in terms of strategy, I truly agree with that, to be honest. The CFO and the CEO, when they work hand in hand, I truly believe that nothing was done in their way, especially with the data that's coming from the CFO and the getting business and understanding the business by the CEO. So I truly believe in 10 years maybe, I don't believe that the CFO will actually replace the CEO, but I believe that they will be actually equal. So he will be as important as the CEO.
That's awesome. Then now, for the entrepreneurs in the room, and for some of the entrepreneurs who are here right now, to tickle your brains, and to continue on the topic of strategy. In recent times, we've seen, from the greatest to the smallest media companies de-risk their business models and diversify into different revenue streams. We've seen Netflix recently move from just working with massive studios to working with smaller creators. We've seen media businesses such as Night Media in North America that's been working very closely with Mr. Beast and which has really led to the success of what Mr. Beast has built. And working with these creators in the form of not just charging them money, but in fact taking a little bit of equity in these businesses, right? Betting on creators and ultimately diversifying into new age business models. We've seen we've seen market demands change. Suddenly UGC is the biggest thing ever. I still remember. So for context, although I work in finance today, I started off my career in the production and media space with the first, building the first drone filming and photography company. And back then, so I'm talking about the time between 2012 until 2016. Back then, if I saw user-generated content by any brand, it would just be absurd, right? It was always a big film set, right? And fast forward to today, most of us get stuck on all these little videos of people showing you all these different things. So talking about diversification, I'd love to understand a bit more about how are you guys over here today diversifying your business models? Is there anything that we're doing differently to prepare for just changing demands and the time to come?
I'll let the CFOs go first.
So it's a good question, to be honest with you. Part of our CFO's role is to make sure that you're not focused on one revenue stream and you're always looking at different revenue streams across the business. At the moment, Augustus has about 9 revenue streams where it generates from. And we keep exploring others. Like we're exploring podcasting, we're exploring metaverse, we're exploring VR, we're exploring a lot of things that are still in their virgin stages. And we're trying our best to capitalize on these things. Now, one thing we didn't go into is crypto. I'm glad we didn't because its ups and downs are very drastic and we still don't know it's very uncertain. And as CFOs, we don't like the uncertainty, that much uncertainty. So we try our best to make sure that we invest in certain things that we know could materialize. And It's all about throwing eggs in your basket and making sure and checking which investment actually materializes. Even if one thing is going right, you never know. Tomorrow it might be something else. Now, a lot of things were learned from the pandemic, basically. We were an online publishing company at one point. It was websites. Now websites don't exist, right? We moved to social. We created snapshots. A lot of different things within digital has changed. So digital itself is evolving incredibly. It's not like back then where traditional media could last 10 years. It's completely different. We're always on our toes, making sure that we know what's happening, making sure that we're on top of our game, making sure we hear the fundamental and the monetary news, and ensuring that we are always looking to put more value in our business and growing it, whether it's to IPO or stocks or whatever we want to, our goal, our vision wants to be.
And then I think, just to like double click on one more point, so to put you on the spot once again, but one of the things that's also happened in today's time is the ease of access where people can replicate models so quickly, right?
That's true.
And talking about replication, which was obviously a lot harder for you to build a solid moat. I recently came across a page that I thought was yours, but it said Clown in Dubai instead of Love in Dubai. I'm not sure if you come across it. But like when you think about these copycat models that try to kind of leverage, looking like your brand and try to pretend be you, and just kind of come up very
Somebody get me popcorn.
No, but to be honest with you, like there is a lot out there, and when you see a lot of people or a lot of businesses trying to do what you do, it's a blessing because you know you're doing something right.
I love that.
And you see a lot of people doing what you want, what you're doing, and that's something that you should take as a positive. Although you need your compliance and your legal team to check your IP and everything else, but apart from that, I think it's a good thing.
Love it. And then any thoughts from Yusa?
I think it goes beyond the finance function when it comes to diversification. Let me put it another way. It's the ability for all the entrepreneurs over here and startups. It's the ability to identify an opportunity and then going for it. So essentially, if you build one business and you were literally myopic and you're literally building on your startup and whatever the function is, and an opportunity comes by, you have to be able to jump on that opportunity. And without a CFO by your side, you won't be able to make the right decision. So I don't think it is a direct correlation. I think it is a necessity that every company must be able to diversify irrespective of what they do. See the opportunity and go for it. Whatever that may be. Maybe you're selling eggs and you're selling media, whatever it is, right? But to be able to do that, you need that function, the CFO, to be able to talk, discuss, to argue, and then take it forward. So I think it's irrespective. It has to be done.
It becomes less of a gut feeling and more of a fact financial.
That's a good point. It's a good point. You need the gut to be able to take it forward. But then how do you substantiate or justify it is hopefully you win the battle with the CFO or do it together.
Absolutely. Awesome. With that, AI has been a very hot topic recently. ChatGPT has changed a lot of our lives, right? And then just thinking about the media industry as a whole, so much has changed for us. I've been coming across tools that automate things like animation. The other day, I created a birthday wish in Drake's voice with beautiful music in the background, all in a couple of minutes, right? You can ask ChatGPT to create an entire movie script for you. So with the advancement of automation and AI across all these different functions of our businesses, when we think about the finance function, after speaking with a lot of finance professionals, it feels like the core of the business, which is actually managing our money, making sure we're making money, making sure we have the right cash flow, why is that function lacking? I've come across lots of finance professionals in the space that are still stuck with old school tools like Excel. I've been chatting with a lot of marketing teams, and one of the things that often comes up is, I had to chase somebody in finance for an OTP for my corporate card because I couldn't pay for my clients' Google ads, right? And just lots of these situations where, on one hand, we've got new age AI tools that are revolutionizing the sector, and then you've got the finance function where payments are stuck. Accounting processes are super manual. Once you're done with a production, to get your wrap file out and to close off that project takes forever. So we're talking about automation and just process optimization. Let's discuss, what we're doing at each one of our companies for the audience review today. I guess I'll start off with you, Omar.
Yeah, so just to add to, and I think that's a beautiful thing you said. There's a lot of changes that's happening in the world of the media, and as a finance professional, sometimes I feel like the finance function did not keep up as fast as the world is changing. I mean, you can look at COVID; it changed everything 180 degrees in one night, literally.
Absolutely.
But in past years, like you said, in ChatGPT and the rise of new companies and new technologies that would enable finance professionals to optimize on these new opportunities and these new processes, we can already see solutions that will not only provide finance professionals with the necessary tools in order for you to pay your ads on time and pay your vendors on time, collect your cash on time as a finance professional, but it will also give you the insight on where did your money go in order for the CEO and CFO to make a very informed decision based on the data that was collected. So the processes did have a setback, I believe, but in recent years, as I'm seeing, there's a lot of tools and there's a lot of processes that help with not only automation but reporting as well. And I'm seeing in my job every day that I'm moving more into strategic because I started my career in KPMG and it was very heavy process-wise, and that was a long time ago. But now, as time goes by, I can see myself more and more. The job that I used to do back in the day is handled by a machine. I just have to reconcile it, and then I would sit in the table with the CEO, and we would try to analyze the data that we collected over the past year. So I think, so for everyone who keeps saying that, oh, I'm going to lose my job because of ChatGPT, that's not going to happen. Let's just be real now. ChatGPT is only here to help us actually make the decision. This will not do our job for us. I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but how many people here know Black Mirror? The show. You guys know,
Super
right?
accurate.
It's amazing, fantastic. So the writers of Black Mirror actually tried to write an episode using ChatGPT, and the episode was horrible. It was so. The thing about ChatGPT, it's a fantastic tool. It helps us a lot during our day, but it will never be as sophisticated and it will never replace a human brain. That's what I truly believe. It will only help us to make better informed decisions.
Awesome. And then with Sam, how do you see automation in the finance function today? Think about a couple of years ago, fast forward to now. Has anything changed, if any, at Xische?
Drastically. Not just at Xische, but Xische Ventures, which is across multiple industries. So we started using Zero.com, if you guys are aware of an accounting platform which is online, in 2006. That's when we started using it. That's literally 2 months after they launched. So it was like jumping in to see how this worked because I really didn't like the spreadsheets and how offline that system was. And I think we've come a long way from 2006 to where we are today, where I was discussing that we use in any one company more than 70 tools at any given time. So these are 70 subscriptions of different tools that we're using, such as Zero, such as reconciliation. For all the startups out there, there's an amazing tool called Causal.io, which allows you to not just take your financial data, directly link with Zero or QuickBooks or Zoho, whatever it may be, and port it into Causal, and it'll give you a trend analysis of a what-if scenario and what-if scenario automatically. And this is for those who don't necessarily have the financial background or knowledge or are financially literate. This is for those who have to understand how things work, take financial decisions, and go forward with it. The tools such as these, I think, are, for us, it has been something that we cannot live without. I don't know if this will be a plug right now, but since Pluto came in, it saved me countless hours of getting a text message on my phone at odd hours to be able to give to the different team members. And that's an inherent flaw in the system, banking system, which does not provide credit cards to corporates. So essentially, you cannot get a corporate credit card across the companies that we have. All the credit cards were linked to my credit bureau score because I was one of the partners, or one of the founders, or on the trade license, essentially. That's not fair, number one. Number two, it's not practical nor is it efficient to be able to go ahead with getting OTPs. You mentioned OTPs. Pluto, a tool such as this comes in and literally saves me hours and hours worth of, go figure out reconciliation statements. I've got to pull it out, OTPs that I've got to give, make sure that I hand out a credit card to one of my staff members or not. It's physical. You've got issues like I don't even know how many people over here have physical keys to your offices right now. That in itself is a problem. You go digital, you've got access control. You can take away access control. The same with Pluto. You can give credit cards, you can remove it. I mentioned 70 different subscriptions that we've got. I'll give you an example of just Google. Whenever we're running any ads, be it Facebook, be it Google, every campaign we issue a new card and use it. The level of reporting that we can get all from a single dashboard, okay, saves not only the CFO, accounting, media, as well as all the project managers to be able to just export and it's done. And one more thing, which was with Pluto, which I absolutely love, is the ability to turn off a card. As of right now, we go use our card across 10 different platforms, and you want to sign off of a platform, you can charge it. Here you've got, again, control to be able to just turn off one card, and you're safe and you continue. So tools, I think, are, for us, at least in our businesses, it's impossible to do without. Because nobody can do everything right, and no one tool can do everything efficiently, works with your workflow, so having multiple tools always helps. And integration between tools is key, right? You mentioned one thing, ChatGPT is not going to take away jobs. I think it will, but I think for those who don't learn how to use ChatGPT, their jobs. Those who learn how to use ChatGPT, their jobs. Secure and leverage. Same with tools. You have great tools, but if they're not integrated, they're useless. It's something like, Pluto, example here. Links with zero for us, reconciles. It doesn't wake me up at night, so I'm happy.
Now I know why I always stop here.
Guys, I promise you, I have no idea.
Apart from we actually do a lot of things manually.
Okay.
Fortunately, we use Google Sheets just to have online coverage across the business. Now, what we realize is we can't really rely on tools within our, because there's a lot of understanding behind the numbers, because media is a little complex versus traditional companies. And there's a lot of hidden messages. I've hired a new FP&A guy who came from a background where things are traditional and upfront, and then I'll be like, no, this is not how you do it. You have to look behind the numbers, see what's going on, understand that you need to eliminate these parts of the financials, and then you'd know what the actual ratio is, whether it's cash ratio or risk ratio or whatever it is. And it's a bit difficult, and it's easier when it's tracked on a sheet. Now, Pluto-wise, I will explore that, because I like the fact that you can turn off on a card, and it allows you to manage campaigns simultaneously and separately, which is an excellent feature that we'd like to look at. Now, automation, we do our best to have a streamline of automations. It's difficult. We currently use Zoho. It's a great tool. And it has already internal automations. At the moment, our objective initially was getting the best tool from different companies, like Pipedrives for sales, Monday for project management, and so forth. But we realized it's dividing departments, and even if it's a tool, it's hard to integrate these tools together. So we finally decided to go with Zoho and start purchasing other Zoho products and try to integrate. And this is something that we're working on at the moment. And we believe that if we can get this automation figured out and done, it will save us hiring additional staff and time and resources to, but Excel will always be there. I'll be honest.
So out of curiosity, Zoho, the decision going
in this region, but from a finance perspective, Zoho, the financial tool of Zoho was excellent. It fits with the media.
Yeah, because I believe it can also be integrated with websites as well.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, because it's also great for media companies to be integrated with
Especially social companies.
Yeah.
It has a tool for social as well.
It's awesome. So I guess, just to summarize this part of the conversation, it seems like finance isn't lagging so much after all. All of us over here have been implementing lots of different tools, Pluto included, to eliminate manual work, to eliminate those manual processes. Excel is still yet to stay, right? But a lot of automation on the top of Excel is just going to make us work better and faster without having to hire additional people to do all that manual work. Sam spoke about using smart corporate cards to manage multiple ad campaigns so that marketing teams don't have to suffer from chasing for OTPs for the Google ad, for the TikTok ad, while finance gets real-time visibility on all those ads happening, along with the automated reconciliation of receipts and automated accounting. Awesome. We move on to our final chapter in this session today. We're going to talk about forecasting, budgeting, and cash flow, right? I often hear the phrase cash is king. And that being the case, with being in this economy where, again, so I've got a where everyone needs to have a common consensus on what sort of market we're in. I feel like these days everyone just has a very different view. And that being the case, how are we preparing from a cash flow standpoint with this degree of uncertainty? And or rather, I think my next question would be, how many times have we changed our strategic plans from a cash flow standpoint across the last 12 to 18 months? I guess I'll kick off with you, Sam.
So I have an issue with forecasting and budgeting
Mm-hmm.
because it's a dead document. The moment you create it, it's dead, right? And the problem with that is we give too much importance to a forecast. We give too much importance to a budget. We use that as a guideline, and then we continue with seizing the day or surviving the day, and just constantly updating it. In my opinion, is a better way to go ahead and use forecasts and budgets. Now, 2012, 2013, we started working with public sector, governments around the region. And we realized that cash collection was going to be a major problem. 2 years into the business, we realized our average, just mind you, average collection days was 250 days. Average. Somebody came up and asked, how'd you guys manage the cash flow? And my honest to God answer is, we don't know. Nobody knows. You can plan all you want, all right? But if things work, they work. Now, I'm not trying to say we don't know what we're doing. It's about using that as a guideline and then learning from what's happening every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year, and then figuring out what do I have to do to be able to survive and then thrive and then grow, right? So what we started doing was we started going to public sector and say, we're going to be investing in your business. We're going to be funding your business. We're going to be bankrolling your business. We started using that terminology with our clients. And they're like, oh, these guys are actually funding our business, right? We started getting it down. We're about 180 days right now, 190 days, which is still not healthy for business. However, you asked a question which was how to diversify. Diversification is the only way to keep ourselves safe from going belly up. So we continue with our focus, our plans. You guys may not join me on this one, but you create your forecast, you create your budgets, you create your plans, and then the new CFOs will be with you every day to go ahead and say, we'll change this. This is how we'll counter this. This is how we'll go ahead and get the cash, or this is how we go and place a bet on this new business that will eventually pay us, if not today, but dividends down the line. And that balance is what gets you moving forward. I'd like to add one more thing to this. I've been sharing things that I don't like, so I'll just add one more thing that I don't like. Is within the financial world, generally acceptable and accepted is a 12-month snapshot of your business, right? Whatever your reporting period is. Be it Jan, December, be it whatever it is, your 12 months. I despise that. But what tells us that 12 months is a good indicator of my business, or our business, or our company? Because we start companies, we get into companies with a longer horizon. to change the world, to be able to go do something great, whatever our vision is, our goal, that doesn't happen in 12-month chunks. It happens over a long period of time. Thankfully, I've been using tools like Xero since 2006, which allows us to go ahead and literally go and see my company's performance from 2006 to now, to be able to see, have we been doing something right? And by the blessings of God, yes, we have been doing something right, because we're around, we're still around, and there is incremental growth. Now, that is how you see a snapshot and say, are we doing well? Are we not doing well? Not 12 months. This myopic vision of 12 months. Okay, yes, public companies, you've got shareholders, you've got reporting, you've got different metrics to be able to judge how you're doing. Must be for a particular reason. But when you're assessing your own business, don't ever do it with just the last 12 months. Do it with a 24, 36, whatever it is month horizon, and go back that much as well, if you were. So don't think you're a failure just because you had a bad year, and don't think you're the best because you've had a great year. In golf, you've got a terminology, a saying, which Tiger Woods had said, which is you're not as good as your last shot, and you're not as bad as your last shot. That is just a shot. But you go out and still win tournaments in the Masters, irrespective of whether you had a single bad shot, 5 bad shots, maybe you go back, 16 great shots. That's what I'd like to do.
Cool, awesome. And then, Joseph, what about you? I mean, let's say call. I'm sure you have a lot of opinions on this, specifically when it comes to forecasting your cash flow.
I love what you said at the end, so I disagree at the beginning with what you said. Our forecast and budgeting is our guideline for Augustus. I'm going to be very honest with you. It does fluctuate, and we do review it a lot, but and especially during the pandemic, things changed. But during the pandemic, we realized that we need to forecast and budget, regardless of what, because we become cost conscious, and we make sure that every spending that's spent is gone through an investment that was required. Our forecasts, thankfully, until now, have been, I'm not going to say 100%, but we're 85% accurate, and for me, that's a success. Both in terms of budgets and forecasting revenue. Now, to solve your problem about accounts receivable, we have the same issue. But the biggest issue is the fight between finance and sales. Now, I know a lot of people that are in finance relate to that. We always have this dilemma. They want us to close the deal no matter what, but they don't care about the cash coming in. And finance, on the other hand, needs the procurement, making sure that the documents are right, and cash is coming in. We were at your stage at some point where over 100, 200, we're at now 63 days. And to do that, we had to look at what the problem is. It's the communication between the commercial team and the finance team. How about we get those guys together? How do we sort that? Well, you add cash targets to your commercial team. Guys, get cash up front. That's one thing. You don't deliver a campaign. Facebook is full on cash up front, right? As soon as you reach your $900 limit or so forth, they block your account. Why not? If you're strong enough and you're confident enough of your business and your product, then you can implement things. Have your commercial team talk to their clients. Have LTAs, have APRs, volume rebates. You guys spend with me this much, you get a return. Create a workflow where your clients are happy with your service, and at the end, all you need from them is them to pay you. And we dropped to 63, and I saw this number today, I was surprised, to be honest with you. But it just shows that with good communication between departments, you can achieve that. Not put pressure on your finance team, because who has a relationship with the client? It's the commercial team. Who can influence the MD or the head of digital or whatever? It's the commercial team. It's not the finance. You get boring emails from finance teams. So, and everyone that gets an email from an accountant just ignores it. So, it's continuous. And you don't want your commercial team to lose that relationship. So you find a common ground where it comes naturally and the client is happy to pay. To be honest with you, forecasting for us is, I haven't forecast until 2032. Wow. So that's how far we reached with our forecasting. And we do individual forecasting, so we do entity-wise forecasting because we're present across 3 countries and we're expanding. And we do consolidated forecasting. And based on our consolidated forecasting, we see how much revenue would be generated that year. And we put a margin of our obviously. And based on that, we decide where our investments are going to go. Whether it's first, you need to keep the investment on operation, what you're currently spending, whether it's $500,000 or whatever. And then the rest will be on additional revenue streams, new entities, new territories, and you just explore that. And based on that, you will have, believe me, a solid picture. As long as there's a story behind the numbers, that's what you need. I always question every number that goes into that forecast. I question my own team. Why? That's all I ask. Why is this here? Why is this number here? What is behind this number? Explain it to me, and then put it. If there's no explanation, I don't want to suggest a number. And that's why we rely a lot on our forecast budgets.
Awesome. And then,
Like you said, the closing the books for the month is a hassle. And feasibility, I have never felt a sentence like the one you said it's a dead document. I'll be in Excel filing for my life in a forecast. The second I
disclaimer, guys. Two finance functions, but not entrepreneurs.
I look at my forecast and budget, and I immediately know I'm not going to use this, and I just.
So you agree with them?
I do. Actually,
that's unfortunate.
But again, there is a sweet spot in between because I also try to, because it's a guideline at the end of the day. If it was not necessary, why would I spend a week fighting for my life in Excel in a budget or a forecast? But the secret in at least a forecast that would add value to the business somehow, at least that's from my experience, would be from a solid month closing. And I promise I'm not getting paid by Pluto, but ever since we implemented Pluto, there are some solutions out there that will make it easy for business owners or finance professionals to view the data in a certain manner that will improve the quality of their numbers that they're seeing in their forecast. Now, yes, the numbers will never be correct. Never. And you are not better than yesterday and you're not worse than yesterday, honestly. We always try to seize the day. However, and just circling back to that point of automation and processing, I believe that's very crucial as well, because cutting the time and making it more accurate, because the finance functions are very repetitive. Having a machine do it and do it as accurate as it can, it will not do it accurately, of course, there will always be errors. Do it as accurate as it can, it will give you a more visibility on what is the potential of the revenue in the specific industry that you're going into, or the specific product, or the specific market. How the cost structure is going to look like, where you're going to pay your money at, how are you going to pay it, and finally, when are you going to get your ROI? That there's no way, absolutely no way that you can estimate that, but with enough automation tools, that would be, I think that would be, I truly believe in the future it would be very feasible for people to see all the finance data that they have in the business. Which gave me a question for you, honestly, that I wanted to ask you. So, in terms of forecasting and budgeting, so I do agree that it's not 12 months that you need to look at, it's 32, it's 32. But how do you combat the uncertainty of that specific forecast? Okay, so I can roughly estimate, okay, this is what's going to be my revenue, this is what's going to be my expenses, this is what's going to be my P&L. But it's very highly unpredictable, especially in today's world. So how do you approach that specific?
So you said something, I think the answer is in the question. Highly unpredictable, right? So we can say that we're going to hit our targets this year, and say, for example, arbitrary number, 30 million. We're going to hit 30 million this year. Arbitrary based on assumptions, based on a moderate level of risk to say this is what we're going to get.
Yeah.
But you don't know what's going to happen. You could have a boom. You could have a recession, a slump. anything can happen. That's what I mean. So I don't mean to discount a budget and a forecast. I mean, don't give it the importance that it is given currently. Is what I mean, right? So we can plan whatever we want. We work towards that goal. A budget and a forecast is a great tool to get us and our team to rally towards something.
A certain, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you need to rally towards something. It can't just be the vision. You gotta get down a bit. So you rally towards something. But then you always have to keep changing every single day to be able to, and be okay with what you're getting in.
It's like you know what's talking, you know where you're going, but
That's it.
So
I have no issues with
Yeah.
budget and forecast. And when I say this in that document, you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
You need to go through the process to be able to then get a sense of where the business is, where the business could go potentially. I mean, that's you talking out loud in terms of Excel, because Excel still runs the world.
Yeah.
It will still run the world. So you're thinking out loud, and then you're like, nah, this is not gonna work, or this is gonna work, or maybe I hope this works. And then you get to work the next day, and you try to make it happen. So it is necessary. I wouldn't even call it necessary evil. It's necessary.
it is very
Yeah, but let's not just look at that. No, let's look at the future.
It is a guideline at the end of the day, and it's extremely important. It's all dependent on how many staff members you have to actually achieve that goal. It's not up to you. You might put these numbers up, but at the end of the day, they're your numbers. You just need to make sure you translate those figures so that everyone's aware of and everyone works towards it. And there, like, I did say that we work on budgets, but our budgets are transparent across the departments. So everyone has access to our budgets and our forecasts. So we make it very transparent that they know that there's guidelines and they know when they would request something based on the budget.
You see the parameters.
Exactly. Exactly. And if there is any changes that is required, then we do it immediately. We know that there's an investment needed. Done.
No, we need it. We all need it. I agree with that.
So that, again, what's it called? I can feel, I can hear a couple of stomachs rumbling, and I think it's, we're going to head towards dinner time very shortly. But with that, I'm just going to quickly summarize everything we've spoken about so far, right? So we started off today's session discussing about the continuously evolving role of finance as a function in media businesses. We spoke about how collaboration with different departments and automation is key in order to have an efficient business. Lots of tools exist today to help us with all the different scenarios, from managing our ad campaigns better, to automated accounting, to getting real-time visibility, and to getting to reconciliation and closing of books a lot faster than before. We then went down to discuss cash flow and forecasting, which we had two opinions over here. We had an opinion that said that cash flows aren't important. It's a dead piece of paper. It's a forecast, so it doesn't matter. You live by the date. And then you've got someone like Joseph, who lives by the forecast as his Bible and has been extremely successful with an incredibly high success rate over there. And with that, we've come to an end of the session, discussing a ton of different things. Hopefully, some of these insights were valuable. And lastly, I'd love to open the floor to any questions by the audience. And again, feel free to throw questions with regards to the session, or if there are any specific areas of, let's say, payments, finance, either internally or externally as part of the media industry that you're interested in either sharing about or asking a question, feel free to throw it at us over here. We've got all four of us over here to answer any questions. Sure.
Thank you for the session.
And also, if you could just introduce yourself as well before you ask a question, so everyone knows who you are.
Yes, I'm Asra Al-Tahari, and I'm the brand strategist for After River, the cloud-based global brand agency. Thank you for the session. Steve, just like for me, it just shows that the CEO of the future are not going to be the CFOs, just like, because I can see that, again, you always need these two to be next to each other, because amazing ambition and just jumping at opportunities, and CFOs always there to just reciprocate you that quality, and that quality, just it's kind of bring the balance. Me being here, actually, I expected to have this session and just understand the use cases of your application and just that you're showing your way while talking about it. I would like to hear more about it, just how
Sure.
it's really enhanced their businesses.
That sounds awesome. Okay, how many more people would like to know how Pluto could help media businesses? All right, so we have a lot of hands over here. Great, awesome. So what we'll do is after this session, for those who would love to stay back, right, we'll talk about the solution. We'll take you through different use cases. Again, this session was really meant to have a more generic discussion about the finance function in media. But what we'll do is, again, for those of you post dinner, I'll be hanging out over here, happy to sit down on our table and talk you through the different areas that Pluto is on.
That's good. Thank you.
Any questions? All right. Looks like we have no other questions over here. So I think with that, we will we'll kick off and dive into dinner. I know it's dinner time already, so
Great
let's
job,
do it.
guys.